That's when he tried biting.
My father told me, he was like, man, he tried to bite you. I said, hey, boy.
The boxing world is reeling after what might go down as one of the most controversial decisions in recent memory. The main event? Gervonta "Tank" Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. About that, many fans expected to be a formality for the undefeated Davis. But what actually happened inside the ring told a very different story.
Exactly. He's the champion. He got to defend his title. He got to defend his title. Like I said, they both was looking at each other. And then finally, after Tank will be the one to throw the first punch. He felt like he wanted to retain his title. Lamont Roach felt like he was just happy to be there and get the success. He wasn't trying to take the title. He wasn't trying to take the title. And I'm saying that even from the last round, just even the last round, the final 20, 30 seconds of the last round, he wasn't throwing no punches. He looked at him and got caught with a jab. You can't close the show with a guy like that, with a guy like Tank Davis like that. Now, if he'd have had a knockdown or something, like a real knockdown or something, maybe he feeling, but you can't stop until the bell ends. You can't, even if you're being active and slipping and sliding and something, he just standing there looking at him. I don't know. I didn't understand that. I don't understand why fighters sit there and look at each other for a long time. Change the angle. Keep a rhythm in your way. Snap a jab. Do a feint. Ain't no need of you standing there looking at no man for 20 seconds in a fight. That don't make sense. But so I think, like I say, Lamont Roach, he will be kicking himself in the ass that he didn't do more, but grateful that he did enough.
In what became a gritty, technical, and intensely close battle, Lamont Roach shocked everyone not only by surviving 12 rounds with Davis, but by outlanding him in total punches, pushing the champion to the brink, and walking away with what many believe should have been the biggest win of his career. Instead, the judges scored it a majority draw, 115 to 113 for Davis.
What you was thinking when Tank did that when he took the knee? What you was thinking when he took the knee?
I can't speak on it.
Can't speak on that?
Can't speak on it.
He did some bullshit though?
I can't speak on it.
You no personal opinion, nothing?
Can't, especially you.
No winner, no belt transfer. Just stunned silence and then chaos. In the days following the bout, Lamont Roach Jr. broke his silence from his hotel room, voicing his frustration not just with the scorecards, but with how boxing politics played a bigger role than the punches he landed.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops, it's a no?
Hell no.
Yeah, fuck that
Fuck,
nigga.
yeah.
You know how many
Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he fucked the fight up though.
Right.
The knee, him going to the corner to get assistance, like who knows? Not saying that they did any cheating shit or nothing like that. But like he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that.
Right.
That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee. Usually the ref will be like, all right, he don't want to fight no more. Fight's off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's it. And he hit me low like 30 times.
Right.
And warned him in the 11th round, like, all right, I want it. Like, come on, bro.
And from what we understand, and tried to bite a nigga.
Yeah, nigga tried to bite him.
I outworked him. I stayed sharp. I didn't let him bully me, Roach said. What else do I need to do to win? According to CompuBox stats, Roach landed more punches overall than Davis. He was more active, more aggressive, and more consistent across the middle rounds. And while Davis landed more power shots, many fans and analysts believe that wasn't enough to justify even a draw. Roach wasn't hospitalized, but the disappointment hit him just as hard. It felt like I got robbed in broad daylight. Let's rewind and break down how the fight unfolded.
That lands, and then two jabs after that. And see a jab on the eye. Tank Davis turns to the referee and kneels. Gentlemen, here in studio, fairly clear that knee touches, that's a knockdown. I don't know how else you can see it. And when people talk about the delay, well, there was a delay. We've seen much worse delays, especially on body shots. Someone takes a body shot, backs up, and it's several seconds, then they take a knee. And people take knees for all sorts of reasons. Sometimes you're under assault and you need a break.
Yeah.
It's all a knockdown.
Jimmy, we've seen, if I think of fights in the past where voluntary knees have happened, off of not one single moment or one single punch. You think of Mayweather against Carlos Famoso Hernandez. When he lands the punch and turns his back and takes a knee, he gets counted. You think of Miguel Cotto against Antonio Margarito, where, it was under duress and he just took that knee. And, of course, my compadre right here, Chris Algieri against Ruslan Provodnikov as well. It wasn't a particular shot. You feel something, you feel discomfort, you take a knee. All those times, there's a count, dude.
From round 1, it was clear that Roach wasn't intimidated by Tank's power. He fought smart, keeping a tight guard, moving fluidly, and using sharp counters to neutralize Davis's aggression. In several rounds, he forced Tank to fight off the back foot, something we rarely see.
So find out what's happening, because I think they were going to announce something today about Lamont Roach, Gervonta Davis decision on the knockdown. It was a very good fight, though. Lamont Roach is very good. I was really impressed because Tank is really nasty. Good. Tank is so fucking powerful. Yeah. He's so vicious. Like his one-punch power at 135 is like nobody else's in the division. Like the way he starches people is crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets so much torque and power into his punches, and he's so fast that he covers ground, and his uppercuts, they're just fucking devastating. Yeah. So, like, for Lamont Roach, not just to survive, but,
do some damage.
To do damage and
put him on a knee.
Basically bring it to a draw, which if they do change this because of that knee, it becomes a victory. I think it should be a victory for him, and I think they should do a rematch.
100%.
Everybody saw it. You can't get around what everybody saw. Look, it wasn't a legit knockdown like he hurt Tank. Tank did have some shit in his eyes, but what are you doing putting shit in your hair when you have a world title fight? That's crazy.
And no one wanted to hear about it in the middle of a fight.
Rounds 6 to 9 were especially crucial. Roach landed clean combinations, body shots, and continued applying pressure. Some ringside analysts had Roach up by as much as 2 to 3 rounds heading into the final stretch. Even fans on Twitter, YouTube, and boxing forums were nearly unanimous Roach had done enough. But then came the announcement: a draw. Immediately after the decision was read, the arena erupted in boos. Commentators and fans accused the judges of protecting Tank's undefeated record.
He backed up Gervonta Davis a lot. Ultimately, I don't think the draw is the worst decision in the world. I think, obviously Lamont overperformed here, or at least the look is that he overperformed. But I'll tell you where robbery can come into play. 2 scorecards were even. There's a knockdown not given to Lamont Roach. Gervonta took a knee on his own. Let's remember when Mayweather did this against Carlos Famoso Hernandez years ago when his hand hurt, the referee counted him. So that was counted as a knockdown. Steve Willis is supposed to count that as a knockdown. And if Steve Willis counts that as a knockdown, Lamont wins by 1 point on 2 scorecards. And that knee that Gervonta Davis took ends up becoming the difference on the scorecards. I don't think a draw is the worst result in the world. I will say this.
Boxing insider Joe Santoliquito tweeted, "That was not a draw. That was a robbery. Lamont Roach deserves that belt." The word rigged started trending on boxing Twitter within minutes. And even fighters like Teofimo Lopez, Chris Colbert, and Devin Haney chimed in, hinting that politics played a role in keeping Gervonta Davis unbeaten and in control of his WBA title.
He's a star. He brings people. He's got a big fan base. He brings good pay-per-view numbers. I don't know what the numbers are in this, but, he's one of the guys that bring good pay-per-view numbers. I think all of that, he brings that with him. When a referee allows him to take a knee, which is not a rule in boxing, and get away with it, and not make it a 10-8 round. That should have been a 10-8 round. He got hit with a jab just before that. I'm not trying to go after Tank Davis. People already know. Some people say I defend him too much, that I'm saying how great he is. And he is. He's a tremendous, complete fighter, puncher, fighter, inside, outside. He's patient. He's responsible defensively.
While Tank Davis walked away with his record intact, the criticism he's facing now is fierce. For years, Gervonta has built a reputation as one of boxing's most dangerous finishers. But this time, there was no knockout, no domination, no highlight reel moment. Instead, he struggled against a man the media barely gave a shot. Roach exposed something crucial: Tank's vulnerability when facing disciplined, technically sound fighters. And for someone who claims to be the face of boxing, that's a dangerous image to let out there.
I see Lamont started giving him some work, and he looked good, man. I got to give respect to Lamont Roach. He proved a lot of guys wrong. I think he shocked Tank a lot with what he was able to bring. And again, we saw the controversy with the knee. To me, that's a knockdown. You can't just take a knee and decide to, go to your corner and get your face wiped. So, if that's a 10-8 round, Lamont wins the fight. So it's unfortunate, but that's the fight game. Hopefully they'll do it again and he gets paid, what he's worth.
Have you ever seen anything like that in boxing before? A guy sort of just voluntarily.
We've seen Floyd take a knee and be put on the count. We've seen Miguel Cotto, take a knee, obviously into his corner, be put on the count. If we're allowed to start taking knees and run to our corners, well, I'm gonna start doing it too. If I as soon as I feel something, everyone will start to do it. But it's just not right. You're a warrior. Doesn't matter if there's grease in your eye, a bit of gel in your eye, or whatever excuse you want to use. I've been through wars where there's blood pouring in my eyes. In the Lomachenko fight, blood was pouring. I'm wiping it away. We've seen it with other fighters. So we don't get opportunities just to take a knee, go to our corner, wipe us up, and might as well have a coffee.
Some fans are even speculating, was Tank off his game? Did the weight cut affect him? Or has the competition finally caught up? With backlash still growing, the pressure is now on for a rematch. Promoters are reportedly in talks, and fans are demanding it. Lamont Roach has made it clear he's ready, anytime, anywhere. Run it back. Give me what I earned. If the rematch happens, it could be even bigger than the original fight. This time, the eyes of the entire boxing world will be watching, not just to see who wins, but to make sure the judges don't get it wrong again.
Since the word has been floating around, the rematch is happening for sure. Just keep an eye out for August. There's a date floating around that might very well be that date. I can assure you guys that it's coming this summer for sure.
This controversy is just the latest in a long list of questionable decisions that have left fans disillusioned with the sport. From Canelo GGG to Pacquiao Bradley, and now Davis Roach, bad scorecards have become a recurring nightmare. Many fans are asking, how many more robberies will it take before something changes? Regardless of the official outcome, Lamont Roach's stock has never been higher.
Because of referee Steve Willis, nobody could have seen that coming. But a call by the referee in the 9th round was the difference in the fight, and that is really unfortunate. You can make an argument. Let's throw the 9th round controversy aside for a split second. You can make an argument on who you thought won the fight because the fight was very close. I had it 115-113 for Lamont Roach. One of the judges, Eric Marlinsky, scored it 115-113 for Tank Davis. Glenn Feldman and Steve Weisfeld had it 114-114. It was a close fight, and the first half of the fight was dreadful. And that's really, I think, where the fight was decided because look at the first round. I have the CompuBox stats up in front of me. Roach landed 3 punches, Davis landed 1. In round 2, Davis landed 3 punches, Roach landed 4. In round 3, Davis landed 8 punches, Roach landed 7. There wasn't a lot going on in those rounds. So I can understand how, one person may have thought Davis won that round, another person thought that Roach won it. And so those rounds count when we're getting to the end and we remember the action that occurred at the end of the fight. The fight really picked up in about round 7, and I thought it was kind of scintillating down the stretch. Not the best fight I ever saw, but you see this 16-1 underdog, Lamont Roach, who's moving up from super featherweight to lightweight to fight Tank Davis. And he's standing there toe-to-toe, giving as good as he got throughout the entire fight. I thought Davis got buzzed a couple of times in the fight. You never saw Roach wobble. You never saw him look like he was in danger of going down. You never looked and said, hey, he's hurt at this point. Here's an opportunity for Tank. Tank did a lot better in the second half of the fight. But a bizarre incident happens in round 9. Davis takes a knee, and everybody's going like, what is going on?
He went toe-to-toe with one of the most feared punchers in the game and walked away with his reputation enhanced, even if he didn't leave with the belt. And Gervonta Davis? He may still be unbeaten, but his aura of invincibility has been cracked. If this fight proved anything, it's that the future of boxing is still wide open, and Lamont Roach just carved his name into the conversation.